In a quiet Florida suburb, Ethan Caldwell thought he'd found peace after years of high-stakes missions as a Navy SEAL. But when overzealous HOA security officers smashed his front door over a minor landscaping issue, shouting about violations, they had no idea who they were targeting. Days later, Ethan's former SEAL teammates paid a visit to the HOA's headquarters, exposing a pattern of harassment and corruption that would dismantle the organization and send shockwaves through the community. Ethan Caldwell, 42, had retired from the Navy SEALs in 2022 after 20 years of service. Born in Jacksonville, Florida, he joined the Navy at 18, driven by a sense of duty and a desire to test his limits. His career took him to Iraq, Afghanistan, and countless classified operations, earning him a Bronze Star and a reputation for calm under pressure. After retiring, Ethan settled in Palm Grove, a gated community in Naples, Florida, seeking a quieter life. He bought a modest 2-bedroom home, valuing its proximity to the beach and the promise of tranquility. His wife, Lauren, a nurse, and their 2 kids, Emma and Liam, adapted to civilian life, though Ethan still carried the discipline and vigilance of his military days. Palm Grove's Homeowners Association, HOA, was notorious for its strict rules. Led by President Margaret Hensley, a 60-year-old real estate broker with a penchant for control, the HOA enforced regulations with an iron fist. From grass height to mailbox colors, nothing escaped their scrutiny. Ethan, meticulous by nature, complied with most rules but clashed with the HOA over his backyard garden. He'd planted native shrubs to attract pollinators, a project Emma loved. The HOA, however, deemed it unkempt and issued a violation notice in June 2024, demanding he remove the plants or face fines. Ethan responded politely, citing Florida's environmental laws encouraging native landscaping. He provided documentation from a local botanist, proving the plants were compliant. Hensley ignored his appeal, escalating the fine to $500 and threatening legal action. Ethan, frustrated but calm, paid the fine under protest while working with a lawyer to challenge the HOA's overreach. He assumed reason would prevail. On a humid morning in July 2024, Ethan was at home when 2 HOA contracted security officers, Carl Dempsey and Victor Ruiz, arrived. The HOA had hired a private security firm, Safeguard Solutions, to enforce compliance, giving them authority to issue citations and, in extreme cases, enter properties. Dempsey and Ruiz, both in their 30s and exuding self-importance, pounded on Ethan's door, shouting violation. "Open up." Ethan, confused, opened the door to find them pointing at his garden. They claimed it was a health hazard and demanded immediate removal. Ethan explained, again, that the garden was legal. He showed them the botanist's report. Dempsey, the more aggressive of the 2, scoffed. "We don't care about your papers. Tear it out or we'll do it." Ethan stood firm, asking for a warrant. The situation escalated. Ruiz, egged on by Dempsey, declared they had authority and pushed past Ethan, smashing the glass panel of his front door in the process. They entered his yard, trampling plants as Lauren and the kids watched in shock from a window. Ethan, trained to stay composed, recorded the incident on his phone. He warned the officers to leave, citing trespassing laws. Dempsey laughed, saying, "Good luck suing us. The HOA runs this place." They left after issuing a $1,000 fine, leaving Ethan's door in pieces and his family shaken. Lauren urged him to call the police, but Ethan knew the local department often sided with the HOA, a powerful entity in Naples. Instead, he called his lawyer, Sarah Nguyen, and sent her the video. Sarah, a seasoned attorney specializing in property disputes, was outraged. She advised Ethan to file a formal complaint against Safeguard Solutions and the HOA for trespassing, property damage, and harassment. But Ethan wanted more than a lawsuit. He'd dealt with bullies before, and he knew they wouldn't stop unless confronted head-on. He reached out to 3 former SEAL teammates, Marcus Tate, Javier Lopez, and Ryan Kim, who were now in various private sector roles, but still tight-knit. They agreed to help. A week later, on a Saturday morning, Ethan and his team arrived at the HOA's headquarters, a sleek office in downtown Naples. Marcus, a security consultant, Javier, a private investigator, and Ryan, a corporate lawyer, had spent days digging into Safeguard Solutions and the HOA. They uncovered troubling patterns. Safeguard had a history of excessive force complaints, and the HOA was funneling resident fines into questionable accounts, possibly for personal gain. Hensley's name appeared in multiple shady real estate deals tied to the HOA's board. The four men entered the office, dressed in business casual but radiating authority. Ethan led, carrying a folder of evidence. Hensley was there, along with Safeguard's manager, Greg Walsh. Ethan introduced himself and his team, calmly explaining the incident at his home. He played the video of Dempsey and Ruiz smashing his door, then presented documents showing the HOA's illegal fines and Safeguard's contract violations. Marcus laid out their findings on Safeguard's history, while Javier detailed the financial discrepancies, including bank records suggesting embezzlement. Ryan, the lawyer, warned of impending lawsuits and federal investigations if the HOA didn't act. Hensley, flustered, denied wrongdoing, claiming the officers acted independently. Walsh tried to deflect, saying Ethan's garden was a community issue. Ethan didn't budge. He demanded the officers' termination, a public apology, and reimbursement for his door and fines. He also insisted the HOA revise its landscaping rules to align with state law. To drive the point home, Javier hinted at their next step, a tip to the IRS about the HOA's finances. The meeting shook the HOA. Word of the confrontation spread, amplified when Ethan shared a video online. Residents, long frustrated by the HOA's tactics, rallied behind him. Local news outlets picked up the story, highlighting the HOA's overreach and Safeguard's misconduct. Dempsey and Ruiz were fired within days, and Safeguard lost its contract with Palm Grove. Hensley resigned under pressure. An audit revealed she diverted thousands in fines to her personal accounts. She faced criminal charges for embezzlement. Ethan's lawsuit filed by Sarah resulted in a $50,000 settlement for damages and legal fees. The HOA, under new leadership, adopted transparent policies and relaxed its rules. Ethan's garden became a community symbol, with neighbors starting their own native plant projects. Marcus, Javier, and Ryan stayed involved, helping other Palm Grove residents challenge unfair HOA actions. Ethan and Lauren repaired their door and moved forward, but the incident left a mark. Emma and Liam, inspired by their father's stand, began volunteering with environmental groups. Ethan, though retired, found a new mission, mentoring veterans transitioning to civilian life, teaching them to channel their skills for justice. The HOA's downfall became a case study in community advocacy, proving that even in a tightly controlled suburb, a determined few could break the grip of unchecked power.